All right. Fire them up. What's happening, everybody, and welcome to the John of Your Life podcast, your go-to podcast for all things movies, TV, entertainment, and a podcast. Let me see. What should be my ongoing joke today? I had one earlier and I forgot it, but I got one. A podcast that hopes Jordan Peele's movie gets put back on the 2026 movie calendar. In today's theme of the podcast, I, of course, am one of your hosts. Doug Jones with me, as always, are my two amazing best friends and two amazing co-hosts. First off, it's the incredible, wonderful, is Mr. Nick Johnson. What's going on, Nick?
What's up? Happy to be here. I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Man, long time no see, man. It's been, what, 12 hours?
I know, it's been a minute.
And last but not least, it is the wonderful, the amazing, soon to have a 70mm IMAX by him in LA. It's the incredible Moses Lawi. What's going on, Moses?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Glad to be here. It's a good week, and I'm ready to go.
Let's do it. I mean, I had a big, bold, beautiful journey joke, but like none of us have seen the movie, so I was kind of like, I can't use that. I couldn't use it. I was like, I haven't seen the movie. Don't worry, folks. I'll get these jokes and these openings better over time. Bear with me.
It's a process to perfection, man, and you're on your way.
It's a process, right, man?
That's all it's about. That's all it's about.
I'm trying to be the GOAT. It's all in today's theme.
Don't fumble this one, Doug.
There you go. See, there you go. See, there you go, Nick. On brand again. But more importantly, you all are here. Welcome to the podcast. If you are new to the show, welcome to the podcast. We are the John of Your Life podcast. Again, if you're returning, welcome back to the show. We are so glad you all have returned, either for your first or returning visits. Again, you are all the heart and backbone of this community and this podcast. Of course, a little housekeeping as always. You can find this show on your favorite podcast platform, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, or your favorite podcast platform of choice. You can find our full video show on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Midway Avenue Productions. Whether you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, whatever, subscribe, rate the show, review the show. We want to hear from you guys. Like I said, the feedback and your support means the world to us. It helps the show keep to grow, continue to kind of get more opportunities for events, press junkets, festivals, etc. It really does mean a lot to us. Again, don't be shy. Leave us a review, comment, again, neutral, negative, positive, we'll take it. And share the word with your friends, movie fans, podcast fans, you name it, family, coworkers, shrink, therapists. Well, again, we want to hear from you all. And again, we are about to reach almost 3 years doing this show come November, which is crazy. And we're about to hit 1,000 subs really closely soon on YouTube. So again, thank you all. We see your return viewings on YouTube and stuff like that. And also the audio show, the podcast, or now the video show as well. So we all want to thank you again for the support and again, all the kind of love we've received. But again, don't be shy. Subscribe, rate, review the show. Because again, we do want to hear from you all. Alrighty, folks. On tonight's episode, we're going to do two reviews. Finally, we hear Moses' long-winded reaction review to Long Walk. But first, we have some business talking about goats and demons, and I'm talking about him, which is, again, for some clarification, everybody, to our listeners and to our viewers, whatever. This is not directed by Jordan Peele. I think a lot of people are saying Jordan Peele's movie. I think Complex and World Star back in April was like Jordan Peele's new movie. It's not. He produced this movie, how he kind of produced both Monkey Man and Candyman back a few years ago. But a lot of people on Twitter are saying, oh my God, Jordan Peele's movie. It's not. This is Justin Tipping's movie. Jordan Peele produced it. With that said, though, a lot of speculation about this movie since CinemaCon back in April. They debuted the first teaser before we saw Sinners back in IMAX back in April. But again, a movie a lot of hype behind this movie because it's one of the first of its kind, like a hybrid genre of a sports movie. But if you don't know him, H.I.M., him follows a young athlete who descends into a world of terror when he's invited to train with a legendary champion whose charisma curls into something darker. All right, Nick, we saw the movie pretty fresh. We saw it last night because the embargo also lifted last night, which is never really a good sign. But keep this non-spoiler for Moses and for our audience, of course. What is your non-spoiler thoughts on the movie Him?
So, non-spoiler thoughts, and we kind of talked about this yesterday, but everything about the movie I liked. I thought it was a great like horror kind of psychological thriller type movie. Marlon Wayans fucking killed it. I feel like his like he's very well known for his more comedic roles, but he's like I feel like he gets kind of like slept on as far as his more dramatic roles because this and Requiem for a Dream, like this brother can act, man.
Mm-hmm.
So he just it was mesmerizing. You know what I mean? I just because the whole time I'm kind of like wondering like what the fuck is he about to do next because he was just so unpredictable in the role. And I forget his last name, but Tyreek, the main character, the newcomer, he was really good. And I even with him, like I was kind of like, okay, like how is his particular story gonna end? Is he gonna like go this way or is he gonna go this way? So that was just kind of it was a fun journey to kind of go on with his character and every choice that he makes you fully understand like why he makes it, you know, because again it's not spoilers, so I'm not going to get super into it, but they do a good job at fleshing out like why he is who he is without beating you over the head with like exposition. So I thought that was really cool. Julia Fox was a very pleasant surprise for this movie. She killed it. And the horror aspects of it, the satanic shit, like you know, it worked well within the horror movie genre. It was okay, I almost spoiled it right there, but I loved it. The only thing for me was I feel like there was like 15, 20-ish minutes missing because everything from the start of the movie, like up until like if the movie starts right here and then like, we get up to this point, like fucking perfect, right? And then from like right here to the end, really solid. But here I'm like, I think you needed like 15, 20 extra minutes just to kind of just to delve in a little bit deeper to the story. The only thing for me was it just felt like the movie ended too quickly, but I didn't dislike anything that I saw. It was just some stuff that I wanted them to not even necessarily flesh out more, but just to kind of like play around with a little bit, just as far as what is happening, what isn't happening, you know, like what does this mean and all that kind of stuff. But I thought it was really good. The cinematography I thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like it had amazing shots. There were like some X-ray scenes they showed in the trailer. They're also in the movie. I thought those were kind of fun. I think I wish those would have gone on a little bit longer. Trying to think, yeah, and even like on the poster, I like how they used the field goal to kind of act as devil horns for Marlon Wayans' character because I think
Which
yeah
poster?
yeah where it's scroll back up there because it's where it's the two of them. Yeah, when he's right there. Yeah, it looked like devil horns, man. And I saw someone on TikTok, I think they were like breaking down like his rings. One of or like three of them, like one of them was S, one of them was O, the other one was S, and it was like this is either like save our soul or son of Satan or some shit like that. I'm like, golly, so I'm hearing that kind of stuff. So I'm going into the movie like with that perspective. Like I was kind of looking for stuff like that, looking for shit that I could dissect. It looks like his finger's broken right there.
Yeah, it is.
Wow!
I didn't even notice it till now.
Jeez, because I was like, is that the bumps on the shirt or what? But no, it was greatness demands sacrifice. Great tagline. But no, like it was great. It just the only thing is I wanted. I almost said something that would have been a little bit sus. So let me rephrase. I wish there would have been more minutes in the movie. About 15, 20 more minutes in the movie. I almost said I wish it would have been longer, but like, man, good thing I didn't say that. But no, I thought it was like really good. I thought it was really good. I fucking loved it. And the soundtrack is gonna drop on Spotify in a few hours, I think. So I have it pre-saved because the music in this movie too was fucking fire. Oh my! It made me want to hit the football field. I'm not even like a sports guy like that.
We're gonna see.
No, I thought it was really good.
We'll see you on the track at ASU next week, just practicing.
Like 2 a.m, just.
There we go.
No, I thought it was a phenomenal movie. I loved it. It just should have added like 15, 20 extra minutes for me, but it was really good. It just wrapped up too quick for me. That's all.
Yeah, so this is where I think I'm gonna be. So full transparency, it's not getting. I I think it's got 32% Rotten Tomatoes, and we always say this too. Like most of the time, we're either in the minority of Rotten Tomatoes or the majority of Rotten Tomatoes. It kind of is like we're kind of vice versa with that. I think all three of us have always been that way in the past. All of our life with Rotten Tomatoes. Like I feel like we got kind of like usually have our own opinion why you listen to the show, of course, and why we have a podcast in general. This is one where I was looking forward to it, and then towards the screening, I was like, because we got the screening. We had a screening. I'm like, that's good, but also I was like, wow, the embargo lifts like almost less than 24 hours before the movie. Not always a great sign. And I wasn't hearing like, word of mouth wasn't all that great. I was hearing more about one battle after another, and I was like, oh, this kind of trumps almost like this movie a little bit, and for its own reasons, of course. I'll say this, and in my out of theater reaction too, I said this. I think this is a movie that had a great premise, but execution wise, it fumbles. And you use Nick's football term earlier. It's not a touchdown, but I give it a complete first down. I'll give you that, because I feel like there are a lot of great things in this movie, but the biggest problem is that it introduces so much stuff to a point where you're just like, oh, this is so interesting. How are you going to execute it? And it kind of doesn't. And to Nick's point earlier as well is that a lot of times I feel like we say movie was too long, or it was it kind of dragged here and there. I thought the first half hour I was like, oh, I'm in. This is great. I'm so enthralled. What's going to happen? I'm really intrigued by like this kind of the mysterious of like what's going to happen at this compound with Marlon Wayans and the football and like his team, and it's kind of like all these like trainers and etc. And Tyreek Withers kind of backstory of like with his family and how he's been training to be a football player his whole life. But then once it gets kind of like to the middle to the third act, it just ramps up so quick. You're just like, whoa, slow down. And I think that's like, it's if you had more of a, I say polished script. I think it was more just like time spent with your characters and your themes. Because to Nick's point yesterday, as I walked out of the theater, it was like there's so much like amazing imagery and so many like cool themes of like religion and football and kind of just like greatness and sacrifice. But you throw all these things out, but you don't really kind of follow through with them. And there were a lot of things when it ended, I both said, and Nino said this too, where it was like, oh, there was like a lot of things left unanswered, or like the ending is just like, oh, here's the ending, and then it just ends. And you're like, oh, that's it, huh? And I sat there and I was like, okay, there's a good movie in here somewhere, but I think you need to have it fleshed out a bit more, or maybe really expand on your themes and your kind of like your message. And again, this is a very, like most Jordan Peele movies and directed and produced movies, that is that there's so much stuff about, again, Nope, Spectacle, Get Out, racism, and it's about kind of just like a commentary on like politics, and Us is about kind of like the government and like the doppelganger. And I feel like even with Candyman too, it was about gentrification in Chicago, and it was kind of like this like urban legend that came like a haunting of Chicago from the original film to the reboot of Candyman. And Monkey Man not so much, because it's more about just kind of badass and like fighting. But with this, it's like, oh, it definitely has like a Jordan Peele element to it, and I thought like there's definitely vibes of like Get Out and Black Swan with a bit of, again, with football, of course. And I think that's like, I think this movie had like, it could have taken it a bit further, if that makes sense, in terms of like, hey, like if you're gonna go all out, go out, because there's a lot of horrific stuff in it. But like they could have gone like, hey, we're gonna go balls to the wall, no pun intended, and really show you what we can do with this, and kind of show you how like what it means to be football, like football, and a lot of kinds about religion. I do think Marlon Wayans gives his probably career best performance. No offense to his performance in Requiem for a Dream, or even in Air. But this, to me, it was like he's definitely the talk of the town with this movie, because he's so good in this, because he's creepy, he's unhinged, he's very what's the right word? He's very
crazy as hell.
He's crazy as hell. Like he's bonkers. I mean, he's like aggressive too, and he really plays this person really well. It's a shame though the movie couldn't really match that, because I feel like if this movie was a bit better, like they would have been like, oh my gosh, man, Marlon Wayans, like holy shit, like. I mean, and he deserves all the praise for sure, but if the movie kind of backed up a bit more, this probably would have been like an Oscar, contender, or like a award contender, because it's like he he's in a great movie that kind of doesn't really support his, career changing moment for him in terms of like, dramatic and, sinister. And Tyreek is great as well. Tyreek, seeing him in the Atlanta episode years ago, I was like, oh, this kid has charisma. He's very charming in his own way. And then seeing him in, I Know What You Did this summer, funny enough, this past summer, I thought he was one of the best parts of that movie because he's very ton of charisma. He's very handsome. He's very charming, and I feel like we're seeing definitely a star in the rising, and he's great in this movie too. I mean, no pun intended, he gives it his all in this movie, and he shows how committed he is to this role. Also funny enough, he was also a former college football player at FSU, which is kind of funny. So like, it's cool to see that like he was a football player and now an actor, kind of like how. Denzel's son, John David Washington, was a football player turned actor too. So it's kind of seeing that like progression of like athlete to actor. And him and Marlon Wayans are great together. They really are, and I like their kind of dynamic because again, it's like this mentor that kind of turns deadly. I just wish that the movie could have just like given them a better script, I would say. And Justin Tipping, who directed this movie, I think he's a really solid director because I think he has a good eye for, again, to your point, Nick, about cinematography and certain shots, like really cool shots of like when they're like, it was like day one. Well, day one was like just have fun, whatever. Day two was like, again, no spoilers, X, Y, Z. It was like, it was a lot of cool shots. You're just like, oh, or there's shots, of him, in the bath or the scene with him in the sauna. It was really cool. But again, it's like it's style over substance. Where you're like, oh man, like you should have a better story and script to kind of like really, like have a good balance of the both. And to Nick's thing too, I was texting him on Monday because I was playing some of the soundtrack on Monday. I was like, yo man, the soundtrack's great because it has like Denzel Curry, it has like Mobb Deep, it has Gucci Mane. I'm like, oh, this is great, and a bunch of new artists too that I'm looking forward to seeing the album later tonight after the show. I'm like, oh man, like this is a really kind of, again, has a great hip hop and rap soundtrack, has a good like creepy demonic score, no pun intended. But I just wish that the movie could have delivered on a lot of like cool promises of like, the sacrifice of being the greatest and the themes they wanted to introduce. Julia Fox she's good. She's kind of playing, excuse my language, a cracked out Lady Gaga. Like, I mean, to be fair, like she kind of plays this really kind of like weird like fashion, and she plays it's his wife, right? Or was it a partner?
No, that she was his wife.
His wife. Okay, she plays Marlon Wayans' wife in the movie. And, I thought she was a very, really gorgeous girl when we saw her Uncut Gems. But now she kind of like, she plays this very kind of like, again, like spooky, like kind of very like, scary, kind of like, again, whacked out kind of character. Now I'm like, okay, you're a good actress, but you're kind of doing a little too much in this movie. Dial it back a little bit. So? I think so.
Because I didn't have a I don't know if that, like, for me, I thought her acting was good, but the character at a certain point I didn't really know like what to make of her.
Yeah.
Because I felt like she kind of kept like flipping the character, at least kept like flipping back and forth. I was like, what exactly is your perspective on this whole thing that's going on? You know what I mean? But
yeah.
No.
You first.
Because I thought it was solid, her performance, but it was like the character. I'm like, I don't really know, like where do you stand on all of this? Because it seemed like she was kind of like
she's playing like
she was like of a certain perspective here, and then like a few minutes later, she just kind of like flipped on it. It's like I'm trying because I spoiler free, but I'm like, what exactly is your deal? And I think I would have liked it maybe if she was like just in it a little bit more.
She takes off in the first 20 minutes and she comes back later on.
Yeah, because she there was like a glimpse of her at the beginning, but it was like the back of the side of her head, and then she kind of just she pops up, but I don't know, it just felt kind of like rushed, like someone was like summarizing like her role in the movie, basically. If that makes sense. Yeah, you're
right. It's kind of like if ChatGPT kind of summarized her character, and you're like, all right, here you go. And again, look, even Google's like, do you mean Lady Gaga? No, that's Lady Gaga. And I just felt like in her whole like, she had this kind of weird like disco ball outfit on. I was like, girl, what are you wearing?
Yeah, this one right here, man. Like, maybe it's a fashion thing. I don't know. I'm not very fashionable, so I'm sure I'm missing something. But whenever she like moved around and you kept hearing it like clanking together,
I was like,
like,
okay, is this a disco thing? Like,
yeah, I'm like that lady, that dress is loud as hell.
yeah. So I thought again she was fine, but I was just like I've seen her in other stuff. I thought she definitely shined more in. I just again it's just I think the biggest thing for me was just like man there was so much like there was so much potential with this movie. Again, speaking of like being potential of like the greatest and the GOAT, whatever, but I just feel like to me kind of fell flat where I'm like, oh man, I wanted so much more. But again, I think the highlights for sure were the soundtrack. Marlon Wayans gives a career best performance as well as Tyreek Withers. And also too, all the practicality of like the sets and the football stuff and a lot of like the blood and gore. It's a very well-made movie because of the craftsmanship and the production design and the practical effects. I just wish that like it could have just really with a better script, better maybe story and better execution. This would have been really I think probably one of my favorite movies of the year, and would have been a cool door opening for like more like horror hybrid like sports movies. But honestly, Nick, out of 10, what would you give it?
Yeah, you know what? I would give it a 7.8 because I like it a lot, but it's just like there's some stuff I feel like should have been fleshed out a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it's not even to say like it was too many unanswered questions because you know me, I like a little bit of ambiguity in my films. It was too short. You know what I mean? It was just like okay, I need to see more of what's going on, but still keep it vague, ambiguous, kind of creepy. I don't mind being like disturbed and unsettled in movies like this. That's why they make movies like this. But it just went by too fast. So 7.8 because of that.
Yeah. Okay. And I was teetering like a 6.5 last night, and the more I thought about it today, I was just like, oh man, I really, really wanted to love this movie. And I don't think it's a bad movie. I don't think it's like, oh my god, like this is. Oh my god! Like no, like I've seen some show this year alone where I'm just like, oh hell no, like never again. Would I revisit this? Not really. I would watch like certain scenes, probably on YouTube, like a certain scene, like with him and with
that party scene, huh?
That too. Again,
like, I know what kind of man you are.
I know what you mean. Like, hey, come on now, like you ain't wrong. I just wish that I was like, man, like I wanted to like this be like the first. Again, I think after seeing The Long Walk, they'll get into segue in a little bit. Long Walk, I was like, man, it's gonna be a great month for movies with this and Long Walk and one battle of another. And this, I was like, oh man, it had like kind of disappointed me. So. If you're gonna see this movie, I would say see it like a matinee or like a discount Tuesday. I would give this movie honestly like a 5.5 out of 10 because I was like, man, there was things where I really like this movie, but as a complete package, it lost me and it kind of disappointed me. And what's kind of funny, not funny too, but I think this earlier today like on Twitter was that like that thing of like. I love Jordan Peele, but man, this man lost the weapons and then did this instead. And I feel, I mean, again, I don't want to sound like a dick, but it's like, man, like I feel like, like that could have been a huge thing for him getting weapons. And then instead he got this. And again, you can definitely tell he's so passionate about producing this movie, which I appreciate him as a producer, as a creative, but you can definitely tell he's just like, sure, like give me this. like, give me this.
Like, I'll take it.
Give me this.
I wanted this movie to be a slam dunk, but it kind of was a bit of a strikeout,
Yeah, man. Again, man, on the nose with the sport analogies.
Should have been a hole in one.
Should have been a hole in one, baby.
Fumbled a little bit.
But yeah, it's a bit of a disappointment for me. So yeah, you heard it from us. But again, see it for yourself, of course, too. You never know. Like sometimes you might disagree with us or agree with us, whatever. But I don't think this was the hit. I don't think this is the move. This is not the reaction that they wanted from Universal, Monkey Paw, Jordan Peele, and everyone involved. But again, I still think that it showcases two great performances from Tyreek Withers, who's going to be a star, and Marlon Wayans definitely kind of found his footing with a more dramatic, serious roles. So, yeah, him hits theaters tonight, or again, we're recording this on Thursday, but it'll be in theaters this weekend, September 19th. Alrighty, folks, walking over to a movie that we reviewed last week, a few weeks ago that most hasn't seen yet, and that is The Long Walk, which came out last weekend. And unfortunately, it kind of broke my heart. It didn't really perform well for some reason. I don't really know kind of why. Well, Demon Slayer, I know did amazing. But I was kind of hoping all the word of mouth, Lionsgate was really pushed in this movie. We saw it. Nick and I saw it a week and a half because I had so much faith in this movie where I was like, yes, what are we talking about? But again, now that we all seen it, Moses, we're going to do a spoiler warning, so I'll give you the heads up when we do. But non-spoiler first, Moses, you saw it last week, and I can't wait for your reaction. I saw your Letterboxd. You love this movie.
Yeah. I mean, my reaction on Letterboxd was very simple. How I David Johnson and Copper Hoffman's performance overall in the film. I thought they did a great job. And their chemistry overall was fantastic from literally, from start to like finish. And you like. This is probably like the first like horror movie that I watched that had so much like so much like humanity like in it. I thought this was gonna be like another like Stephen King like weird like horror film where like where somebody's gonna stab somebody or whatever it is to win or any of that, but you just watch the film and you're just like, nah, that's not what the film is about at all. It's a very grounded horror genre. I don't even consider it a horror at all.
No.
And if the genre of horror wasn't even labeled in this film, I think there would have been buzz for this film for numerous nominations. For the award season. For David Johnson and for Copper Hoffman and for the film in general, even for a screenplay, and everything. So, man, it was a great movie. I there's moments where I teed up in the theater. I was just like, man, like, I was just like, man, like we like, I don't want to be political, whatever it is. It's like, we got to find this type of like humanity in real life somewhere or another, or else we're going to end up like this Long Walk, movie or whatever it is. Yeah, it's really, really crazy. I don't really know, like where to start, but I enjoy, the dialogue between all these characters and everything, and they're all very different from each other in terms of like all the characters, too as well from I think his name is this gentleman right here. I think his name is Toot.
Tuck,
yeah, Tuck. Yeah. He was great, man. He, when his scene came on, I don't want to spoil anything right now, but when his scene came on, I was just like, when he knew that his time was whatever, I was just like, yeah, I was just like,
that shit damn near broke me, man.
Yeah, that really.
That's where I cried.
Yeah, he started talking about his grandma. I was like, oh my god, bro. I was like, stop, please.
And the whole nose bleeding thing. Oh shoot, sorry.
No, here we go. All right, guys, we are giving you now the spoiler warning. I had it up already. We're good. I had it up already. We're good.
Is it spoiler time?
It's spoiler time. No, it's clobbering time.
When he was like, I think I'm just gonna die now. I was like, oh man, his brother. Like, not like he just gave up. It was kind of like, yo, man, I did all I could do right now.
That was crazy. And
my fucking tank is empty, bro.
That with the whole like nosebleed too as well.
Oh, I know.
I was just like, dang, bro.
And the chains, he gives the chains to them. He gives it to my grandma, and I was just like, fuck off.
No, seriously, man. No, and one of the monologues that I loved in this movie was, David Johnson's monologue when he was talking to, when Copper Hoffman basically saw his mom again, right? And Copper Hoffman's character, his name is Raymond. He's like apologizing to like to mom and everything like that, and he's like, I'm so sorry. It shouldn't have been like this. It should have never came here at all. And his mom is like So I was like, what are you doing? Get out of here. Go, 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 go. Or else you're going to get, shot or whatever. And David Johnson is basically, pushing him away to continue walking. And then, his monologue, he started basically like doing his monologue, David Johnson's character, telling, Couple Hoffman about like his own personal story and how he got the scar and everything, and I was just like, and he was telling him about this whole thing. And that's where it also hit me. That's when tears also fell, from my eyes. Cause I was just like, damn, this guy knows who he is and knows where he came from, and is trying to help this friend that he made during this walk, knowing that they're not gonna be walking together at the end, at all. But just the fact that he doesn't want him to die in this moment, and the line that he said was that got me. He was like, "Walk with me for a while." I was like, "Damn."
Yeah.
He said, "Can you walk with me for a while?" Couple Hoffman was like, "Yeah, yes I can." And then, they cut white shot. It was a beautiful white shot. This aerial shot and everything. That was really, really pretty. With the composed like score that was also really nice.
Oh my god, dude, that score.
I was listening to score literally once I got out of the theater.
I did too.
I literally put on like my earphones on and just played, and I was just like, dang, this is that score. I wish that this movie wasn't labeled, into the genre that it is, because man, there's so much like, this movie has like so much juice, you know what I mean? With everything, with everything the awards look for, this film has it, and I wish more people, are able to understand or able to see, or even down the line in the future, able to understand what this film really, really stands for, because at the end of the day, to me, it's like I said before, it's about like finding your humanity at the end of the day, because there were some characters that were equal, right?
Yep.
But when they were like this gentleman right there, right next to David Johnson, forgetting his name,
with the headband.
I think.
Dude,
Charlie,
that scene with the spoon. Ooh.
Yeah. Like with his character, he was very, like he was very much portrayed as a villain in this film, right?
Yeah, I was happy he died, bro. Like,
yeah.
It's tragic for sure, because it's like, dang, no one should have to like go through that. But like everything leading up to that, I was like, what a fucking asshole this guy is. Like, you ain't got no reason to be like to be terrorizing these guys like this. But it was kind of like at the end, it was like, no, you didn't deserve that.
No. But the thing is that when you look at it, it's like it's not based on like our reaction. It's not really like on like my reaction thinking he should, but it's more of like the character himself thinking like, at the end of this day, I know I'm gonna die, and I don't want to die. I don't want to die alone.
Yeah. No, that part got me. He's like, "Hey man, you cool if I just like join the group?"
Can I join you guys for a minute? It's like knowing that you were this person from all the way at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
Knowing that the last second are coming for you for your death, and knowing that you don't want to be alone. Knowing that the people that you were bullying are right in front of you, and you're trying to find some way to, cope with them last minute before your death comes. Even with Garrett's character, this very tall, that was very much like, I thought he was going to be. He was also one of the last people to walk. His name is Garrett Waring. I forget his last name. But.
Spell it.
Yeah, why can you find him on here? That's crazy. But yeah, he also had that storyline, right? Like until he started to get allergies and started to be sick and everything, you understood his character, and you understood that, man, like, wait, you're related to, the general, that's his name. The major.
Yeah.
That the major's basically, your father, and you did this thing hoping that he would, recognize you,
Yeah, like you want a validation from a dude who don't even know who you are. And he was like, he was saying like there's like a bunch of us out here, like, because he just stayed fathering kids and like, wouldn't even
that's
have
what
any
I'm
like
saying, right?
relationships with them. So it's
Yeah,
like that's kind of fucking wild, bro.
that was really really wild to me, and yeah, man, it was just it's a heartbreaking movie. It's a heartbreaking movie, but it teaches you and it teaches you a few things, man. It really does, you know. It really does. So if the Academy, if you're watching, some respect on the name. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, that's my review. I just really appreciate it. I just love the movie. I think overall, it's going to be it's hands down going to be in my top, like, if not three by the end of the year, probably like five, film of the year,
Yeah.
um, yeah, yeah. Sinner's still on top, but like, this is like right next to it, or yeah, basically right next to it right now in terms of like a favorite film at the moment. Sinners and Long Walk. So
Because
yeah, good movie.
like I told you, I said when I saw it, I told you, I was like, dude, there's no way you're gonna love this movie. I know you, and I was just like, oh, he's gonna love this movie. There was no way you're gonna be like, oh, it was all right. And I was just like, I said, I know you love. All three of us love. We had the same love of like really movies about like really good character-driven movies like this, and like movies with charisma, movies with good. What also this movie did really well is that it really did a good job of showing male friendship really well. Because I feel like sometimes in movies it's like, yo, bro, what's going on? Or it's like, oh man, like it's very kind of just like very like exaggerated. But this was very like this is a very, I think, beautiful way of showing male friendship that I think we haven't seen in a movie almost ever, if not in a very very long time. No pun intended. And I really thought that like Francis Lawrence, this being his best film, if you ask me, really did a good job of casting everybody too. So I feel like he got everyone down to a T. But really, I would love to see more movies with Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson together. 'Cause I thought they had just like amazing chemistry. Where I was just like, wow, like you guys just like you're friends in this movie, but I hope you're friends in real life too. And I think they are. But it was just like, man, you believe their friendship like the moment they talk to each other. And that's just the power of filmmaking and casting and everything. Where just like you just believe these guys through and through. And then that scene at the end when when Garrity he was like, all right, he dies. And I was talking to Nick yesterday too. We're in the theater for him. I said, man, like the way you see it too, like David Johnson's character, he won. But also, so did Cooper Hoffman, because again, Cooper Hoffman died knowing that he had a brother. Basically, he had a friend. Like he died having a new brother or friend. And to Nick, you should have pointed too. You said that like he also won too because David Johnson's character fulfilled his wish for him.
Yeah, because Cooper Hoffman, his whole thing was like, well, I want to do this walk and kill the major to honor my father, basically. But I think with Cooper Hoffman kind of going on that journey, it was to honor my father, but it was more so like a revenge mission.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like one of the differences between him and David Johnson's character. Like with Cooper Hoffman, number 47, his shit was about revenge. Like you did this wrong to me, and I want to get back at you for this. But with David Johnson's character, it was more so like I'm not so much revenge, but I am going to like right this wrong. Like the major, you've been causing just so much destruction, basically, like so much pain, so much hurt, and you don't even care. Like you essentially live for it. So you just like morally, ethically, you gotta go. But it wasn't like I'm hurting, so I gotta hurt you. It was like this is like the right thing to do. Like you are an evil in this world, and you must be removed from it.
Yeah.
So I think that like narratively, that's also why David Johnson like should have survived, because he wasn't holding on to like any like darkness necessarily, any like resentment or pain. Like he was hurt in that moment because his best friend's brother just died. But it was again, it was just the intention was just it was slightly different. You know what I mean? Because he wasn't trying to hurt anybody. Sense like Hoffman was trying to hurt somebody. David Johnson, because he had the whole thing like I forget exactly what the monologue was, but it was something kind of like, it's a lot of pain in this world, and I went through a lot of shit, and I want to be. He was essentially like the light in the darkness, so it was kind of. I
Yeah.
feel like it just kind of played into that, and I did like the last shot where it ends with him just continuing to walk down the
Yeah, I
road.
do too.
Holy macaroni! I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. It. I really and I thought also I liked all four of them. Even Ben Wang,
Yeah,
who plays Olsen. That's that scene where I think it's
He, like,
Arthur, right, goes
yeah.
back for him because we can't leave him.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it was
yeah.
just like you're gonna die trying to try to save him. It's too late. And you see like no we can do it, we can do it. And that scene, I was just like, that's where I was like, oh my god. And hearing the song, to your point, was about the soundtrack too. Hearing Olsen's song, that kind of like that symphonic kind of like
Yeah, yeah,
thing. That I heard the other day, I started tearing up again. I was like, damn, this movie. I had goosebumps because I was just like, oh my god.
100%. I feel like this movie is definitely, a movie that's meant for like, you know, like our age group
Yep.
below,
Yep.
like from 18 to 30 and everything like that, like much more specifically, like male and everything like that. Watching this film, and literally, not being, trapped with sort of like negative like information,
Yeah.
whatever it is, but just staying true to, who you are, and also just being positive overall, and not feeling lonely
Yep.
or whatever, because I think that, our age range and the generation like below us a little bit in terms of like the male are very much in that state of like loneliness.
You damn right.
It very, very much, it feels that way. So, watching this movie, I feel like when people that I just spoke about do watch this movie, it's them understanding that, that they shouldn't exactly, feel alone or whatever it is. So that's what the part of the theme is about too as well, is that at the end of the day, when you walk your last, walk or whatever, is knowing that you're not there alone or whatever it is. And it was a good message that they did. And man, like there are people like sitting next to me too as well, and I was just like covering my eyes. I was like this, as tears were like falling off. I was like, I hope nobody sees me.
Like, is that Moses? No.
And she was like,
crying?
"Are you crying
Yeah,
right now?"
man.
Moses, are you crying over there?
Dude,
That's crazy. But yeah, I haven't. It's probably the first film that made me like cry. Like for a while. I feel like I don't think Sinners, I don't think Sinners like made me cry. I just felt very, like emotionally,
invested. Yeah.
invested, and also impacted in a way.
No, I'm with that. Sinners got me close. Like at the end, he was like, "When was the last time I see my brother?" I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
my god,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
crazy."
Yeah,
That shit hurted.
yeah, but go watch this movie. Just go watch. The
I
movie.
know, man.
Yeah, go watch the movie.
I'm really disappointed. I think it was like, let's see. I think it was like, maybe 11 mil opening weekend, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, what was like the budget? Was it like 20 mil or 40 mil?
I think they were smart. I don't think it was a very expensive movie, and that goes back to my point last week 2 weeks ago when I said that it was smart that they didn't cast like Timothée Chalamet. They didn't cast someone expensive, probably like Damson Idris now, who's expensive after seeing F1, where it's like they got kids and got young men who were young actors who were not expensive. Yeah, it wasn't Austin Butler in the role. It would have been like, come on, man, for real. But again, that's why I think this movie hit so well, because again, none of these guys are household names, not yet at least. And they all really pulled their own. Let's see. So
I think it made 11 mil opening weekend.
11 mil. Wow.
Yeah.
So fourth place behind Demon Slayer, which I killed, and then Conjuring, which was doing still pretty well. Downton Abbey did decent, and then Long Walk was fourth. And I was really hoping. Well, and to be fair, too, and just some inside baseball too, this was only given about 2,800 screens, which is not really that big compared to like a major release from like
Yeah.
Disney or Warner. Lionsgate's a huge studio, and we work with them, and we love working with Lionsgate. But this wasn't really a wider release for them. Because again, usually a wide release is like about 3,000, right? 3,200 screens, give or take.
Yeah.
So I think I'm really glad that it's getting the reception from like really movie fans, cinephiles, people who love Stephen King and these books. Let me see. Box Office Mojo used to show the budget. You find it?
Yeah, I think it was. I just searched it. I just saw it right now. Mil.
How much?
It's 20 mil.
Okay, cool. So it's a very modest budget movie.
Yeah, 20 mil made 11 mil opening weekend. I think that's that. I think that's not like that's not bad at all.
No,
it's gonna make its money back. Or it's gonna break even. And everything. I mean, it's the same. It's basically the same thing. But we'll definitely see what happens down the long run. But overall, it's just it did a good job. The buzz in terms of like positive messaging was very, very high when it comes down to reviews and things like that. We enjoyed it as fans. I'm pretty sure so many other people enjoyed it as well. So it's so crazy how we're like talking about it like we were part of the film and everything.
I know we're so. That's my baby. That's my baby.
They got to fucking like mile 552. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah,
I would have been done after like mile 3.
And the
opening scene. I would have definitely like kept on walking, but I definitely know that I wouldn't have like made it.
I'd be like, you know what, y'all got this.
And,
I'll catch y'all on the flip.
Good luck. And the opening scene, because I was telling this to Nick as we were walking into the screening, because I remember I was watching a clip.
Right here, bro?
Yeah, because the first 10, 15 minutes is like, okay, where are we going with this? And then when they killed the Jojo Rabbit actor.
Wait, is that the actor?
Yeah.
That's
Jojo
Rabbit.
That's him, yeah.
That's him.
Dude, what?
He's grown up, yeah.
Bro, what?
This is my son. My son's grown up.
Yo, that is so wild, man. Like,
that's Jojo Rabbit.
Just like a little like kid, like in just 2 years ago.
Dude, that scene when they show how brutal that scene is when they shoot him in the face and his face is like, I was
it's
like,
not fair.
Fuck.
It's not fair. I was like, oh my, because I was like, damn, bro, that's a fucking kid. You blowed his face off.
And he was 16, and he was the one under. He lied about his age too.
Yeah.
That's what's more fucked up too.
Like I did really enjoy the brutality of the movie and that opening sequence because like after all that shit happens and then it's the fucking title card.
It just goes.
Bro.
Yeah.
It just goes. It goes, man. And I no pun intended, but the pace of this movie really is something special because it just goes. It just goes. It goes. It goes. And I think we said a lot about movies recently, or like there's not a lot of fat in this movie because again, it really utilizes it's like its runtime. It's an hour 40, hour 47. Like it just goes. And once you end, you feel like, wow, what I just watched. And I think that's what I think sometimes. Francis Lawrence is very good at that sometimes, and then not so good at times. I think like I Am Legend and Catching Fire and Songbirds and Snakes, and this movie too, are incredibly paced. But then you see stuff like Red Sparrow, and you see the other two, Mockingjay Part 1, Part 2. They're not really well paced. He's a very masterful filmmaker, but I think he definitely is really good at pacing. Sometimes not so much, but this movie to me is incredibly paced. And again, you're so invested in the moment with the title cards of like, "Dear Mr. Garrity, you've been chosen for the long walk." You're just in it. You're in it. And I was really impressed of how well this movie was executed from a screenwriting standpoint from J.T. Molnar, who wrote Strange Darling and a few other things, but just how well Francis Lawrence really kind of just like he really did like, hey, I'll make this movie. You're gonna feel invested the moment you see these boys, and you're gonna feel the moment once the movie ends, you see David Johnson walking off into the distance. You're just like, damn. So, and again, it's a really if you're a filmmaker, you can have a well paced movie like this. Boy, oh boy, like props to you. What was the one thing I was gonna mention? I think though we all agree. I'm gonna ask you guys this. This is probably gonna be a cult classic though. I feel like down the road.
No. Oh, it definitely is, man. It definitely
I
is.
can see it.
I can definitely see it for sure. I feel like we were gonna like once it comes out like on digital too as well, in the next coming like weeks or whatever, people are going to watch it and love it probably the way that we did, maybe less, maybe more, but it's definitely gonna get attention down the road for sure. I think it is. But yeah, go ahead.
No, because we're kind of running on time. Because Nick has to hop off in a little bit.
Yeah.
No, you're good. But I'm going to ask something after Nick hops off, because I asked Nick this last night in the movies. Again, I don't want to butch this, bash this person, but I saw a critic who I saw on TikTok about this movie, and I was like, wow. I mean, he had a really, really like take about it. That again, different podcast, different time, but he had a take. I was like, really? And again, I can't relate to like how he saw it from his perspective, but there was one. Again, I was saying people loving this movie, love this movie, and there was one guy like he just was bashing it, and I was just like, huh. And I'll tell you after the podcast, because I was like, really? And I was just like, huh. And I think he took it the wrong way. But again, I'm not.
That's kind of what it sounded like to me too. Because I was like, I didn't get none of that from this.
Yeah, I'll tell you after the pod, Moses, because I think you're gonna be like, wait, what? But I really do hope that I'm looking forward to seeing what David John. Again, I think we're all agreeing that he definitely deserves an Oscar nomination so far for this role.
Yeah, 100%. Even like a supporting role, whatever, he definitely does. But down the line, whatever movie he decided to make next, that the award will actually, that would actually like pay attention to. I hope he gets nominated for that movie, yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah, I was trying to think, and I think that this might be a little blasphemous, but I feel like this might be a little, take. I think this might be, if not the best Stephen King adaptation that I've ever seen. I think it is still my favorite, just because of like how that was an event when we saw it in college. But I think would you guys put this in your probably like what top 3 best Stephen King adaptations?
I would. I definitely would. I don't think there was like another like Stephen King adaptation that hit me as hard as like this film did. And it's crazy because he wrote it when he was in college or something like that.
That's crazy. Under Richard Bachman, under his alias.
Yeah, under Richard Bachman, I'm like, that is wild. So he probably had a view back then, man, about society and life. So he wrote this during college, and it was like, this is what this is where we are now, whatever it is. But for me, I think it definitely is in my top 3, including with it. So
it's tough for me, because for like I got like 4 straight up, like this, the Long Walk, It, The Shining, and then like Secret Window is just it's a personal favorite of mine. But I'm like, I feel like it's not quite as strong a movie as The Long Walk, It, or The Shining. So it's tough. But also like with The Shining, like as amazing a film that was, like, Stephen King hated it because he's like, you kind of just fucked up my vision for the story. So it's like, I don't know, like, but it's up there though. Damn. It's up there though. Like I think, honestly, I think this will be my top 3.
Yeah, because I know Shang-Chi Redemption is also,
that's Stephen King too. But like, it don't feel like it because it's not like a horror movie. Okay. I mean, it is in some aspects.
This is gonna be a little blasphemous too. I have it on Blu-ray, and it was playing at the Regal last week. I've never seen Shawshank Redemption.
What?
I know.
You've never seen the Shawshank Redemption?
I know. I'm not kidding.
You're probably like, out of anybody here, I would have thought you seen it.
I own it.
I could have swore you told me you saw it in college.
No, and I
what are you doing, bro? No,
I know. I talked to my dad last week, and he was like, "What?" He was like, he said, appalled. I was like, "Yeah, sorry, Pop." I've never seen. I wanted to see it last week, but I couldn't find the time because it was playing at the Regal for like the classic movie marathon at going on the Regal. I was like, "What? I'm gonna see it the first time on the big screen," and I didn't have time, and I was like, "Damn it."
Man, you better rent that shit on YouTube or something, man. It's right there.
I got it on Blu-ray a couple years ago because it was $5 at Best Buy a couple years ago, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch it one day. That was like 4 years ago, and I never did. But I'm gonna watch it probably this. I'm gonna watch it. I'm trying to watch more movies off of my watch list now. As we talked about a few weeks ago on Letterboxd, I was like, okay, gotta get it more. But I know everyone loves that movie. Again, it's #1 movie on IMDb, for God's sake. Like, I was just like,
Shawshank is?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not mad at it because it is like really good.
Top 3.
It's fucking me up a little bit. I ain't lying.
I think top 3 is Shawshank, Godfather, Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's fair. Godfather and Dark Knight, like especially Godfather. God damn, I gotta watch a movie.
Okay, I haven't seen The Godfather.
I'm not gonna spoil it at all. The only thing I'm gonna say
dude.
about it is like I fucking love that movie.
Part
2 was fantastic as well. If you're gonna watch the third one, watch. They have it on Paramount Plus. Don't watch Godfather Part 3. Watch Godfather Part 3, The Death of Michael Corleone. That's like the official title of it.
It's a better version.
Like I haven't even seen it yet. Like I want to, but like the theatrical Part 3, fucking ass. It was.
Words out of my mouth.
You know, watch both versions. It's gonna be like watching Justice League and then the Snyder Cut, bro.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see.
No, yeah. The Godfather trilogy.
It's great, dude.
At least the first 2 movies, fantastic, man.
First 2 movies are fantastic. Yeah, fantastic.
They had a Godfather video game too. Me and my cousin used to play it. Like we would just stay up like because we would always like the game would always reset, which is kind of the fun part. We would just have fun, like going over, like from like this store to this shop to this property, just taking over the town, bro.
Yeah.
It was running.
That was a fun game. It was
so fucking fun.
I like that game.
I fucking loved it. It is my bedtime. I got a 3 a.m. wake up tomorrow, fellas.
Let's wrap this show up. All right, guys. I think we gave you guys 2 movies to check out. I think, Long Walk for sure. So we won't do our 1-on-1s this week because I know Nick is on a tight schedule. But we will plug where can we find everyone at home. So Nick, my friend, starting with you, where can the lovely audience find you at home?
You'll find me right here at the Genre of Your Life podcast, hosted by Midway Avenue Productions. And if you so choose to follow my personal Instagram account, all you got to do is type in Adamad Johnson 98, and that's going to be me right there. And that's basically it. You can find me right here in your heart as well. And also, don't follow me here, but I will be going to my bed to catch some Z's. I'm going to the land of sleepy time.
Nick's address is 113. I'm kidding.
Great. My fucking circle on my own. No. You about to find me asleep, because that's where I'm headed right now.
Moses, where can they find you at home?
They can find me. Sorry. They can find me. They can find me on Instagram at MosesLawi_. I've been trying to, be active there a little bit more too as well, and I've been active more lately. I'm not exactly sure, but you can follow me there. You can follow me.
You've been working.
You can also find me at my website, of course, and you can find me, here at the Genre of Your Life podcast, and of course, as always, you can find me here in your heart.
Hell yeah!
Nicely done. You can find me not doing the long walk ever. But I'll be walking on my treadmill tomorrow at the gym. That's for sure. I'm training for the fake long walk.
I'm training for the short walk.
The walk, yeah, I'm sure, yeah, the reasonable walk.
The short stroll.
Short stroll. That would be the
short walk. The short walk around the block at 7 o'clock.
Hey,
right there by the docks.
Dr. Seuss. You can find me with these awesome gentlemen every week on a show I am so honored to host with these guys every week right here at the Genre of Your Life podcast, ran by our little small brand, little production company that I lucky to have these guys sharing with. And again, that's Midway Avenue Productions. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter. Our X now at the Young Jones at Instagram, or you can find me on Twitter or X at Capri Sun, Capri _SON. You can find our socials, all one word, Midway Avenue Productions, whether you're on YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram. We're trying to grow that more and more, so please don't be shy. Follow us on there. And again, on our link tree on our bio over Instagram, please check out these guys' amazing work. Well, there's Moses' website, both Nick's and Nemo's amazing article. And again, both these guys have made award-winning short films. Give them a shot. They're both really incredible films and showcase their amazing talent. And my bad, Joel's Twitch is still there, so if you want to check that out too, go ahead. But I will definitely look at it afterwards. But no, seriously, thank you all so much for joining this week, and more of a short episode because of our schedules. But we'll be back. Actually, maybe next week we'll see. Actually, because I might have an event for something else. But again, we'll be back shortly soon, of course. And again, we are just getting started. We are now really fully into the weeds of the fall movie season with One Battle After Another. Then we got Smashing Machine and Tron Ares. So again, make sure you have your notifications turned on for our podcast on your favorite podcast platform, and of course on our YouTube. Again, we're dropping a lot more, hopefully more clips and more reels and more vlog stuff like that. So don't be shy. Leave us a comment, subscribe, and rate the show. But more importantly, thank you all so much for joining this week's episode. We cannot wait to have you all back on this podcast, and we are really glad you listen to our ramblings, all things movies, TV, entertainment. But till then, my friends, stay cool, stay safe, but more importantly, we will see you all at the movies.